though, to today's Loose Jungle Juice. And there is one story that dominated last night's show, Nella's argument with Fred after she took offence at him saying he is old enough to be her dad.
You turned around to me with an attitude and said, you know I could be your dad, right? Don't bring up my dead parent. Are you stupid about, oh, you know I could be your dad, right? You know my dad's dead. You're a weirdo.
I am
You're a weirdo.
sorry.
I'm not stupid.
Nella, it wasn't like that.
You're not gonna little girl me. You're not.
Nella, it wasn't like that at all.
Okay, it wasn't like that. So I just feel like if I don't like somebody, I'm not gonna force myself to speak to them. This is not the kind of person I want to be around. These are not the kind of comments I want to be subject to.
I was saying it in a jokey way.
If somebody isn't laughing with you, is it a joke?
I did not
Is it a joke?
I did not
Is it a joke?
Now, that was the aftermath after a moment over the campfire the night before.
My eyesight wasn't so good and I had to have glasses.
Old, right?
I'm 51.
Yeah, but that's not old, though.
Yeah, but I'm not 26 anymore, am I? I could be your dad.
Pardon?
I could be your dad.
No, my dad was way older than you.
Yeah, but I could still be your dad.
No, I don't think so.
So that is where it all stemmed from. I find it really uncomfortable to watch last night, Jane. I really did. It was just awkward.
It was just weird. It was like some sort of parallel universe. It was a completely innocent comment, a figure of speech that we've all sort of said many, many times. Oh, I'm old enough to be your mum or whatever, or you're young enough to be my daughter. And suddenly out of that came this massive sort of feeling of offence. And for me, it's that classic thing, and particularly in this day and age with you know, young people that are on social media a lot, where things just kind of blow up out of all proportion. It's where fact meets what your feelings are. So she feels that because she felt something about what he said, that makes it that his intent was to hurt her. And of course, it absolutely wasn't. And I think as anybody watching that can see, it was an entirely innocent comment that has now become this massive thing. And you can see that Fred is baffled by it. I think most of us that were watching it were baffled by it. And, you know, clearly Nella has a lot of hurt surrounding what's happened to her mum and her dad. And I get that completely, but I think that is the wrong place to put it in.
Well, he did very much apologise and spoke very directly to her, and I really didn't mean that, although even after that, she continued to talk to the other girls, saying, oh, he was sort of smirking during his apology and sort of didn't mean it.
Bizarre.
So as you say, I think she feels very strongly about where she stands. She's not going to eat his food. She doesn't want to speak to him for the rest of the time, which is an extraordinary thing, I guess, to say, considering it's only, what, day 2 or 3. They could be there to the end. What sort of torment would that be? But I suppose emotions are incredibly heightened in these situations.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, Janet, and you, of course, Liv, haven't done any reality show where cameras are on you 24 hours a day.
I'm just thinking, to try and put myself in her shoes, obviously, if I go back, I was maybe a little bit younger than her, but on Love Island, I went in there in that time of my life. I think that expression, you know, confidence is quiet and insecurity kind of screams. And I think that is, she may be feeling a little bit out of her comfort zone. She does a lot of YouTube, a lot of, like, you know, like Jane was saying, self-videoed stuff, and it's about going viral, and it's about, you know, having impact and being controversial. And maybe I think she's kind of, like, say, a combination of not really knowing the appropriate way to handle the situation and the emotions. And she's a bit younger. What I think where she went wrong is when she was going, you know, weirdo and
But he was a weirdo to her. I mean, in her defence, I found Fred incredibly patronising. I mean, he's not serving food in a restaurant now. He's not dealing with difficult customers. I can see that what he said to her could have offended her. And also, looking at her backstory, her parents came from the Congo. They went to Belgium. Both of her parents died within a few months of each other.
But that's not Fred's fault.
It's not Fred's fault, and he will not be aware of it. But that will inform how she reacts to him. And also, I would hate to see, as a result of this, that she gets voted out of that camp. Because, to me, the mix of people in the camp, and to make the show work, we need people like her. And I'm not saying that in a patronising way. I think she has a voice that other people don't have, and I find that Fred is, you know, more of the same, frankly.
I'm just glad it was filmed, because a lot of times situations like that, if you've got people and there's no actual evidence, and then suddenly one person's going, well, this was said, and you realise that that actually wasn't what was said, that's just what they think was said in their head. So it's good that it was all on camera, because we can see what happened and see the facts.
It's interesting they showed it, Jane, because when I was in the jungle, I had Brian Harvey from E17, who was abominable, who swore the whole time, who farted in my face and was basically one up from from a farmyard animal. And it was not broadcast. Only the bit where he stormed out.
We don't believe you. We didn't see it. It is, and I can only imagine, which is why I couldn't think of anything worse than the jungle, as much as I love to watch it. But I mean, it's so intense, and once the food thing comes into play, why does anyone want to cook in there? It causes nothing but drama.
Cooking's good because you've got portion control in your house.
Well, I was gone before they started cooking, so I wouldn't know.
That's one day, Olivia, one day.